Are you a top laner that feels like they always win the lane, but they can't win the game? Well, I've got the VOD review just for you. The VOD review we're going to watch today is with me and a gold EUNE Shen player. And yes, you can go, well, it's gold rank, so I'm not going to learn much if I'm a plat player. But what I do in this game review is I break down every single phase of his gameplay and talk about it from a sense where you can get value from it if you're iron, you can get value from it if you're a diamond player, because the concepts I'm talking about I see problems with at all ranks. Yes, the lower rank you are, probably the more exaggerated the problems are, but these problems as top laners occur all the time. So this VOD review is really good because I go into really in-depth analysis to like the actual HP bars of minions, of wave management, and all the different patterns as well as situations of typical top lane waves that occur when you push, when you freeze, when the enemy pushes into you, when you recall. Every single wave style, situation, and management is apparent in this VOD review, and I break it down really in depth in the first like 20 to 30 to 40 minutes of this VOD review. So if you're interested in wave management as a top laner, this VOD review is for you. If you're also, as I said at the start of this, a top laner that feels like you do pretty good in laning phase and you're like, I don't know how to extend my lead from lane into the game, or I feel like I do well in lane, but the rest of my team's trolling, this is a really good VOD review for you as well, because I break down every single time he could have done his macro better, what he could have done to change the outcome of the game. We actually spot like 2 to 3 fatal flaws that at the start of the VOD review, Sleepy, who we're doing the VOD review with, was like, I literally don't know what I did wrong. And by the end of the VOD review, he goes, I literally know exactly every single thing I've now done wrong. So if you're a top laner that always gets confused, like, why did I lose this game? You'll be able to garner a lot of ideas and hints about what your gameplay and what problems are occurring in your gameplay by watching this one. And it also gives some really good tips for players who can't afford coaching or who don't think they need a coach or who don't want to coach, how to actually review your own gameplays and do exactly what I did in this VOD review. So if you're interested in that as well, make sure you watch the video. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoy it. Cool, and then the build path's pretty standard, right? You go grass, shield bash, obviously it works well. Second win, because you're probably going to get a bit of poke. Revitalize for the heal and shield, and then cheap shot. And ultimate hunter, attack speed, adaptive. And then you went armor against Kale. Is that just a little...
Early, I figured out, like, well, I played against a lot of kills.
Yep.
And I figured out in early game she does more AD than AP.
Okay.
So that 8 armor, I think it's 6. Yeah, I think that's 6 armor. It does pretty help.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Early.
So you're going for like a bit more early game, and trading off for a bit less late game. So you're hoping to try and push the early game advantage as much as you can.
Yeah.
And I like the ignite as well. Do you ever go TP on Shen, or you much prefer? I know you've already got your ult, but do you much prefer the ignite?
It usually depends on the matchup. Like, if I know, like, so I figured out that Mordecai, I will never beat a Mordekaiser. So from now on, I'm either banning a Mordekaiser or just going TP if I'm not banning a Mordekaiser.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, cool. I'll load up the game. So talk me through, you versed a lot of Kales. How does it usually go? Is it really dependent on the skill level of the Kale, or does the laning phase kind of pretty predictable?
The laning phase is pretty predictable. Unless he gets camped, I usually win lane.
Okay, cool. So you can basically, if it's like a 1v1 or both junglers give the same amount of top lane attention, you can kind of win the lane generally.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. How do you, like, do you have like kind of a method that you've thought of, or just kind of feel like you just intuitively go through a process?
After 900k points on Shen, it is just it just happens, you know.
Yeah.
You start doing things subconsciously.
Yeah.
But I think I figured out like ways to how, like, you know how her healing and movement speed thing, it can get her out of my E range. But you know how Shen Sword, if you pull it through someone, they get slowed if they walk away from you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you always want to place that sword always behind your enemy.
Okay.
So let's say Kale walks up to you and and your sword is behind her.
Yep.
You always want to Q, and like unless you're not in E range, you don't want to really Q because that would be just a waste of an empowered Q. So
Yep.
if she's in range, you just Q, walk up, and E. Her movement speed wouldn't be much because of the slow.
Okay. Makes sense.
And then with Shen at early game, you do a shit insane a lot of damage.
Do you ever go for a cheese level 1 on the Kale?
Um, yeah, but I think, oh yeah, Trundle usually goes blue first, so she'll just most likely be in lane. I think he went blue first too.
Yeah, so
But
sorry. I was thinking like sitting in this bush or this bush.
Oh,
And when she comes up for this first CS, you get a really good early trade off. Maybe even
I'll
start your
tell
E.
you, I'll
Yep.
tell you what I usually do. When I know a jungler is starting red, I would usually go to the tri bush
Yep.
and wait for them in there. And with my ignite, I've got so many cheesy level 1 kills.
Yeah.
I even once, I think I played again, there was a Ramus jungler and a Kale top, and I was able to 2v1 them.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty fucking. That's pretty fucking dangerous.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Shen level 1 is OP.
Yeah. Because I would recommend doing that against Kale as well, particularly because you do it a lot. I'd suggest trying to do this little bush trick. And then the other one with your warding, I noticed you warded here. Another one you can do is if you assume that Trundle's starting here, you can actually like as a top laner, you can be here and then ward his either Raptors or his red buff. And it's like it's kind of a bit more of an aggressive ward and a bit more useful than this one. Because if you get vision of either the Raptors or the red buff, you know exactly when Trundle's going to gank you now. Whereas if you're just predicting that he's starting blue and he's going to path, you have like a, I guess a 30 to 45 second window where you can assume he's going to gank you. So you have to be on edge for that. But if you get your ward here or here as like minions are spawning, so like around the 1 minute like 20 mark, you get to lane at like 137 and you're here for the minions. It can be a really nice trick as well. But sometimes you can run into a Malzahar or Kale could be sitting here, so it is a little bit dangerous.
Yeah.
But it's one you can try as well if you do want more vision. Cool. So the auto attacks, talk me through auto attacks straight away while Kale's not in lane.
So I wanted to push the wave to get the level 2 advantage.
Yep.
Because I know I'll just harass her because she's very, very, very like she's one of the weakest champions early.
Yep.
Because she doesn't have any range. So if I just get the level 2 advantage very fast, I can just keep harassing her from getting any CS later on, even though I'm pushing.
Okay, cool. I'll want to see how your push. Okay, cool. You pause it for a little bit. Good. Okay. I like this. Good. So you're not super fast pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh,
Have
I
you-
guess she started.
Yeah.
No, I just realized looks like Trundle started red.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see if Trundle comes. Have you ever considered starting E level 1 as Shen? Against like matchups like Kale?
I did, but I find it pretty bad.
Okay.
It is interesting because yeah, you can taunt her and whatever, but then you just do just a tiny bit of damage.
Yeah.
Going to heal it back with.
Okay. Nah, cool. That makes sense.
Maybe if we're invading, I would definitely go E.
Yeah. So my auto attacks, this is why I was worried about the auto attacks, because look at the wave position right now.
Yeah.
So you're going to get level 2 right, but she can kind of sit very close to her turret. So it'll be interesting to see. Ideally, you want to hit this level 2 right, because if you look at this, I guess the minion lead you have isn't that big, right? Because you've just got an extra minion here, but HP wise, it's pretty similar. The reason why I didn't like the auto attacks is just because you're going to push it too far. Ideally, you'd want to be hitting level 2 and the wave's still almost dead even. So I would have suggested coming back and just doing a few less auto attacks. Because really all you need to get level 2 is one more auto attack than her, right? Ideally, you'd want, let's say, 3 or 4 more auto attacks, so she's not going to hit level 2 as you go for the trade, if that makes sense. But you can basically plan out your level 2 within auto attacks. And what I want you to get into the habit of, particularly against Kayle where you need to abuse it, and you want to abuse that level 2, is making sure that you don't over auto attack at the start, because it sets you up for a little bit of a problem here. So what I would have done is probably just done those 2 auto attacks. Maybe, yeah, like one more. And then I would have not auto attacked again here.
Oh, you mean that one? Yeah.
Yeah, and then we missed that one, which is fine. Because now look, our melee minions, we're too far ahead, right? Because there's 2 minions here, and she's got no melees. So ideally, you only want to be like almost like half a health bar of melee minion ahead of her to get level 2 first, if that makes sense. Sure. Because right now you're like basically a whole melee minion ahead. You only want to be half an HP bar ahead. Is that a good, like, does that make sense in your head of like visualizing and using it as an indicator? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because with the Kayle, we know we're eventually going to get outscaled, so we want to make sure that our level 2 is like as clinical as possible, and we can push the early game advantage that we have like as consistently as possible. Cool. Yeah, every time she goes up for CS, punish her. Nice. I'd punish her on this one as well. I know if she goes for an E, that's fine. Cool. See, notice like how. See, notice this trade now. Like not terrible for you, but you take the turret hit because this lane's just a little bit too far. I mean, yeah, you didn't have to take the turret hit, but that's entirely preventable if the wave's here. And you notice now what's happening with your wave is, so she's going to get all this free time to farm under a turret, which is not really what you want as a Kayle, like want against a Kayle, right? Ideally, you want the matchup to be where you're making her work for every single CS and you're like auto-attacking her every time she goes for an auto-attack. But you can't really do that when the minion wave is under her turret, right?
Turret, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why that first push is so important, because now for the next like 1 to 2 to 3 minutes, this wave is going to be really safe for Kayle, and you're playing almost to how she wants to play the lane, if that makes sense. Because you're a level 2, level 3 Shen, right? Like you push the wave in. Like it's not like you can really go roam. Like you can't do much. So she's really happy with that because she can't get poked by you or attacked, and she gets free CS while you're having to just sit there and let her, scale. Cool. As you can see now, I mean, lucky she's not the best at auto attacking. Which is a good thing. She's missed like every single CS there.
Yeah, that's generally gold for you.
Yeah.
UNE gold.
Yeah. Cool. So works top side. Nice. Tristana gets first blood. Again, we see these trades just suck for you because you're under turret every time you go for the trade, right? And she actually wins that trade. Yeah. Cool. And now this lane dynamic changes a bit, because you've only got the Doran shield and a health pot, and she's got 1 charge left on her corrupting. So yeah, really important that you understand that wave, like I guess theory, because it sets you up for success for the next like few minutes of the game. But that's a good trade. And now none of these trade windows are ideal now because she's got a slow push going. So realistically, you don't want to really trade with her anymore, which is, again, why that push wave is really bad, because when you push the wave into her, she gets to see us under turret, but then her wave builds up and now it pushes into you. And that's great because you can zone her from CS with that. But the problem is if you go for a melee trade on her, her minions are
The minions
basically
will
another
start
champion.
acting.
It's basically like a
Yeah.
2v1. Like if you look at how many minions, like these all do 26, 12, 12, 12. She's doing what? Base 59. This is more than a Kale basically damaging you. And every time you go for a trade, you're going to have to face basically a 2v1 of damage. Cool. Just kind of make sure you're not using your shield pointlessly there, because you probably could have got that CS. It's little, it's like a little thing, but just make sure you're using your shield correctly here. Because now you don't have it for this trade, and you didn't have it to get that CS. Cool, is she gonna stay here? She could back and TP. Yeah. So that's another thing we don't like. Okay, she doesn't go for the TP, that's good. Yeah, I'd be trying to thin this wave out as much as possible. But you can't really with Kale there. I'd just be auto-attacking as much as I can here. Because you want this wave to get thinned out as possible and before it gets under your turret. Cool. Now, the one good thing about this dynamic is if Warwick comes and ganks, it's going to actually be really good for you. The only problem is you can't help him contest the scuttle, which is another, I guess thing we should talk about. So with this wave, the problem with your bounce here and then the bounce back means that at 3 minutes 15 or, you know, I guess it's 4 minutes 40 now, you can't actually help Warwick contest scuttle. So the wave is really important to keep in the middle because it gives you the option if Warwick's here when scuttle spawns at 3:15, you then have the option to come and help him. Because you and Warwick as a 2v2 versus Trundle and Kale, you win that every time. And if you've got wave priority, you can then actually make this a 2v1. In this situation, like, it's at 4 minutes 40, so Warwick had no chance of getting this Scuttle Crab. But as you get higher rank, as a top laner, you're going to need to play that first 3 minutes to 3 minutes 15 with the scuttle in mind, because the jungler is going to be really looking towards you, particularly when you get higher rank, for you to be able to support them. Because for a jungler, scuttles are really important for them, not just like economically, but also like theoretically in their heads. They get really angry. I jungle a lot, and if I lose my scuttles, I get really angry. And they won't get angry at you, but they just get annoyed at the fact that they couldn't contest the scuttle because their lanes didn't have priority, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so this wave should never happen against a Kale. Because what you're doing now is you cannot trade against this Kale. She gets priority. She can do everything she wants. So we're playing towards her win condition, not our Shen win condition. So yes, you can say you're up 4 CS and you're probably going to be up like 7 or 8 CS. But when we're versing a Kale, it's not enough to be up just 7 or 8 CS. Ideally, you want to be up like 10 to 15 CS, plus you're harassing her as well. So that's why that wave theory at the start, and I'm keep going back to it, but it's really, really important. I mean, I mean, like, yeah, Warwick can't really get angry at you there or anything because you couldn't help him. And he died to the 1v1 anyway. Cool. Now, the only problem here is we don't know where Trundle is now. We can assume he's recalled, but he could be waiting for a gank here. And again, we've got this slow push. So notice what we've done with this wave now for the first 5 minutes. When you create a push into the enemy turret, it then bounces back, and then it then bounces back. So it's like a really easy theory to understand of, if you push your wave in early and it hits the enemy turret, it's then going to push back to you, hit your hit your turret, and then it's going to keep bouncing back until something in the lane happens. Either you get a kill on the Kale, you both recall, or the jungler comes in and manipulates the wave. So we don't really want this bouncing back against a Kale because it suits her at every single stage of the game. If it's pushing into her, it suits her. If it's pushing into you, it suits her because she's got all the safety as that's happening, unless you've got your jungler waiting here as she's pushing you. Whereas if you've got this always dead even, you can be constantly threatening her and making her fight for every single CS pre-6. If that makes sense. I know I'm rambling a lot about the wave management, but it's like it's your biggest opportunity to punish the Kayle. Cool. Nice. Okay, that's what you mean, right? With the pulling the sword behind her? Yeah. Cool. The one problem with this trade is we lose a lot of CS for it, which is another, I guess, secondary side effect of having this many casters and having this wave bouncing constantly between turrets is when you go for the trade, you actually get punished because you lose CS. She loses CS as well, but you also get punished for going for trades, which is like a really weird way to think of trading, right? Because when you think of trading, you're like, I'm punishing the enemy, but you're actually also punishing yourself in this situation because you're going to miss both these CS, which is an interesting way to look at it. Cool.
Like that.
Nice.
There.
Yeah, done. Just done. Awesome. Cool. To be honest, this could have happened minutes earlier. I think if this wave's even, so imagine. So what you've just done is, right, you've gotten a solo kill with basically the hardest wave possible. Like, the hardest wave state possible for the first 5 minutes of the game, you've gotten a solo kill at 5 minutes 20. If you had the wave, so, like, good job, like, getting the kill, like, really good. The fact that you got a solo kill pre-6 on Kayle is, like, really good, and you did it, which is good. But you actually made it really hard for yourself. So you're actually, like, having to work extra hard, all because of those first couple of auto attacks. This first blood probably could have come maybe even a minute 30 earlier if the wave was in the middle and you could have poked her more often. But it's okay. We still get the same result. It's just a little bit less efficient. We could be, you know, a little bit more CS ahead, a bit more XP ahead, and you would have killed her a little bit quickly, a bit faster, if that makes sense. Cool. Awesome. She should never have gone for that CS. Good. Back here. Cool. Okay. I'm not sure if you needed to flash, but it's okay to secure the kill.
Yeah, I didn't see her heal. I thought she still had heal when I ignited her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's okay to confirm it. Yeah. Oh, nice. Good pushing. You can back anywhere here. You can even just back in those. Doesn't matter. Good job. Alright, what's first buy gonna be? Barmies? Okay. Talk me through the Barmies first purchase.
Bomb is just generally, it's probably one of the best items on Shen because you fight in very, very close range and the bomb just start racking up damage. It also helps you with pushing waves.
Yeah.
Because Shen has practically zero wave clear.
Nice.
Also, it's pretty tanky.
Yep.
So that's what I generally think about.
So with me talking about wave management here, any downsides you can foresee with going Barmies?
Yeah, which would help, which will eventually make me push the wave.
Yeah, so that's the one problem. And particularly because Kayle's not a big wave clearer, you could theoretically go something like a little bit different here. You know, maybe you could think about, like, I mean, it kind of sucks. Like, you probably have to go Barmies, but maybe you could, like, build the components but not actually finish it. So you could go, like, the double ruby and maybe, like, a null magic mantle, so a bit of magic resist. Or you could go for, like, early tier 2 boots. The problem with the boots would obviously mean that you're slower to your mythic. So I'd still, like, build the components for my Sunfire. Or I think it's, like, Frost... I don't know what's called these days. Maybe it's Frostfire Gauntlet. But you know the one we're talking about. I'd maybe build the components, but not actually finish the Barmies. If if you're versing someone like a Mordekaiser, a Camille, basically any other champion that Kale, I would say the Barmies is correct first purchase. I would just say the problem with Barmies is you can't really control the wave as well. So it's good for clearing, but it's not good for freezing and manipulating the wave as much as you can. So that's the only problem I would say about it. But we'll see how it plays out anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean about her movement speed.
Yeah. Alright, what don't I like about this trade?
Is I lost cannon.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I realized and I was like, oh shit, I auto attacked it.
And you did, yeah, because you didn't have to miss the cannon, but you probably got so focused on the Kale, and then you saw the cannon getting auto attacked by the turret. You're like, oh shit, I need to kill the cannon, and then it ends up making you miss the cannon, and then I think you miss another CS. So I'd suggest if you I would say your CSing under turret isn't that good. What I'd suggest is like holding off trades when you've got minions under turret. Like, let's just get the basics done first. Let's get the CS out from under your turret and then go for the trade. Because it's just not optimal. I've noticed a couple of like unoptimal trade patterns where you go for a trade when minions are under your turret and you're losing CS, noting that now you're actually 2 CS behind. Obviously, you went for a roam, you altered and then helped your team get a couple of kills. So that's the price you pay. But this trade, and then you did 2 trades earlier where you took turret damage. It's just not optimal trading, and for someone who plays a lot of Shen, you should really know when to trade, particularly in the early game. And you shouldn't be taking turret hits. How many mastery points do you have on Shen?
I think 900k.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you should, it's how you're saying earlier, you've got all these like intuitive skills that you do because you've played Shen so much. It's not really like a blueprint. It's just your body, like, it's almost like breathing to you. You just do it naturally because you know it. The problem with that is you can also build bad habits. And something I've noticed is like your trading patterns are almost like a bad habit you've picked up where you're okay with going for a trade and losing a cannon minion. Whether you don't see it like that in your head, but that's literally what you're doing here. You're going for a trade, sacrificing the cannon minion. You're going for a trade, taking a turret hit. You're going for a trade, taking a turret hit. You're going for a trade, losing 2 melee minions. And this like adds up over a game where you'll start missing like 10, 20 CS. And as you get higher rank, it's not a problem in gold. But as you get higher plat, diamond, where you're playing against like the top 1 to 2% of players, 10 to 20 to 30 CS in your first 15 minutes of the game is like absolutely crucial. So we got to make sure that we're aware of these habits and we're kind of focusing on them in your future games as well. Cool. Right. Why aren't we posturing a bit more aggressively here?
Even if I stood in front of her, I don't know if you can see it, but she has 5 stacks on her ability, I think. Yeah, and it's practically useless. Whatever I do, she'll be the one poking me.
Okay, so you just
So I just had to, instead of me just taking free damage, I'll just auto attack a minion just to help it not push back to my wave. I think I don't know, back to my tower.
Okay, cool.
I think that's what I was thinking.
Yep. Yeah, but you go for the trade you kind of go for the trade anyway. So like I think you can be posturing. Okay. Yeah, go explain.
Okay, so you know how my W works and it blocks every auto attack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I go for this trade, people actually get surprised by Shen's damage.
Yeah.
So when you like suddenly get chunked by champion, you would be surprised and just generally have a fear of auto attacking him. I think that's how it works, or that's how it's been working for me.
Yeah.
Because generally when like I know for a fact that I have no way of winning long trades, I can only go with an Q, E, W, probably like 3 auto attacks and run away. But
Yeah.
once people see that half of their HP is chunked, they would really, really, really get scared. That's how it's been for me up until now.
Yeah, it's like a mind game, right? Because you
Yeah.
every time they go for a reward, like a minion, you punish them. So it's like a punish reward system, which is you're thinking about it the exact right way. I agree completely. Like that's the right way to think about it. The one thing I have the problem with is why can't we do it now? We've got everything up, right? Why can't we do it now and make her lose CS? Like
First of all,
yep.
she's pretty far.
Yeah.
Second, I think I knew she had her healing up, and since that, it just feels like my E is, I think, at this point like a 16 or 18-second cooldown.
Yeah.
So it's pretty damn long.
Yeah. But we're going to go for the trade anyway in a couple of seconds. So what makes the difference between going for a trade now and going for a trade when you do?
Okay. So simply walking up to her right now would just make it clear that I'm going up for a trade.
Yeah.
She can just easily walk back without using any ability, wasting no mana, nothing.
Yeah.
So once she pushes, I think if you can play it now and you can see what happens.
Yeah.
Uh,
She'll come up for the
see how
CS.
close, yeah. She comes very close to the CS, and then I can E her here.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is this exact situation, but instead of this minion, so she's gonna have to be in the same auto attack no matter what minion she's attacking, right?
Yeah.
So why can't you do it on this minion? Why can't you be up here on this minion and do the exact same thing she's gonna do on this minion at this point in time?
I have no idea why I didn't do that. I think because that minion was low HP, I wanted to get it.
Yeah.
But it just died. Yeah, I could have just went to
this
the other
this
minion.
one. Yeah. Yeah, so like your theories, like everything you said is absolutely correct. I'm just saying we can do that on any minion. It doesn't have to be, I guess, this last minion. It can be on any of these minions.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. Yeah, so
in a more efficient way.
Yeah, because if you do it on that minion, she then misses this minion, and potentially this minion. Whereas if you do it on the last minion, all she's going to do is potentially miss that minion. So you're doing the exact same thing you're wanting to do. You're just doing it earlier and punishing her a little bit more for it.
All right, I see.
Yeah. Well, you just wait for your trade window. Now, as your W comes up, I almost want you to be now posturing to hit it as it comes on cooldown, because we know where Trundle is. Trundle's just died. So this is just a pure 1v1. We know where Mouse is. So when the situations like this and it's just you and Kale, you want to be going in for trades as soon as your abilities are all off cooldown. So that's what I want to see in like 2 seconds. I actually want you to be now up here, because by the time you EQ, you then W, your W will be up in 2 seconds, right?
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah. So it's okay. It's just like increasing the frequency of your trades and also trading at better times. So like the trading when your cannon's about to die to turret, trading under turret here, trading to lose 2 melee. That's the first problem. Then the second is trading frequency. So how often you're trading against a 1v1 that you know you win in the short trade. Because every trade you've done, you've basically won. Compared to the Kale. I think she won 1 trade kind of because you like fucked up your combo a little bit. But basically, you're winning every trade. So if you're winning every trade, it's not going to happen forever, right? Because Kale scales, probably at like level 11, level 12, it's going to start getting really hard. So until she gets level 12 or a level 11, you want to be using all your abilities on cooldown every single time. Because you know you win the trade. The only variable is if you hit your skills, which are kind of easy to hit. And even if you miss your taunt, you're still going to be able to get a couple of auto attacks off her with your Q. And then you're going to have your W to block her auto attacks. So basically, you're going to win every trade. It's just a matter of how many trades you can fit before she hits level 12. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, we're not going to always be able to do every single trade, right? Because there's a bit of autopiloting. Sometimes we're tired. Sometimes we're not thinking right. Sometimes, you know, we're thinking about something else. We're maybe looking at this team fight. You know, we're not going to hit every trade, but if we can increase how often we're trading slowly and gradually and be always thinking about it, these matchups are going to get better and better, and you're going to start, instead of being even CS at 8 minutes 30 and up a kill, you're going to be like up 1 kill and up like 30 CS as well, because you're trading and pushing her back a lot more.
Oh, nice. What's also pretty hard with Shen is that you need to look at the minimap. You also have your ult, because if any one of your teammate dies and your ult is up, it's kind of
yeah, they'll fucking flame you.
You can see like 4 people just pinging your ult. I'm like, okay, so please, you know?
Yeah. No, I know it exactly. Cool. Probably don't need to use your W there. Like, it doesn't really matter. Again, notice how long it's been now since your last trade with Kayle. It's been like probably like a minute 15. So like that trading frequency, making sure it's as often as possible. Because your ult's down for what, like 20 more seconds? So it's not like you really need to be watching this fight too much, because you can't help them. You don't have TP, you don't have your ult. Well, again, just like using a Q, I know you get the empowered auto attack, but whenever you use your ability to see us on minions, it means you can't use it to trade on her. So it just gives your like autopiloting mind another reason that you can't go for another trade. Again, it's like nitpicky. I'm like nitpicking this shit, but it's like actually really important. Because then you didn't even have. Did you even have your shield for that? That trade there.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so whether it's for defensive or offensive on her, basically never use your abilities to wave clear against a Kayle. You probably don't need to unless you've killed her or you're wanting to do something with the wave. Generally don't last hit with your abilities. It's only if you're wanting to hard shove. Cool. It's a shame they got Dragon. They shouldn't have got that, considering what happened. Oh. That's alright. Can't do much about that. Cool. Nice. So you're looking for your ult now. Oh, you weren't looking? Oh, I guess you probably couldn't have survived that anyway, right?
Yeah, that was kind of a waste, and my ult is on a really huge cooldown.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Trundle comes topside. Cool. Good respect here. What don't I like about this positioning here?
Oh, my wave is re-pushing? No.
Just your champion position.
Oh, I'm pretty far away. I won't get XP.
Yeah. What can a Trundle do realistically if you're here? You've got your E up, right?
Yeah, but she has her ult up, so she can pretty much dive me.
Yep. So, but she can't dive you right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, if she dove you right now, it would be really troll, because she'd miss all this CS, and it would just be awkward, because Warwick's here as well. Like the dive right now isn't going to happen. The dive's probably going to happen in 20 seconds if she pushes this wave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, watch what happens. This is fine. You're just over-respecting the Trundle a little bit too much here. Like, you don't need to be this far back. You can just be sitting here. Because what's a Trundle going to do here when you've got your Warwick here, right? If he comes around behind you, Warwick's just going to match it. So what I'd do is I'd just be sitting here. Because if you notice what happens, I'm pretty sure you missed the XP on this cannon minion. Yeah, see? You missed the XP on this cannon minion. Which is like, it's not a big deal, right? It's like 1 minion. But it's like a mistake that's purely preventable just by standing literally here. Again, this is like, it's like a small thing. But now instead of being level 8, you're level 9 now. And you're just getting more XP. Cool, now this wave's in a really awkward spot because Trundle's here. So now you come up, right? You come up anyway. I just wanted you to come up like 5 seconds quicker so you don't miss out on the XP. Cool. You don't really want to push this wave. Yeah. Good. Good respect. Again, there's nothing really to do, so you got to just show the respect here. And basically, this lane's going to be like this now until you reset. Because you're low on health and she's not. So you're just going to notice until you reset, you're not going to really be able to trade with her for the next few minutes. Cool, you're looking for the ult. Nice. Good trade. Great trade.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the insane Shen's damage.
Yeah. Oh, and she gonna greed here? Watch your CS as well, you're missing a bit. That's alright. Your Balmy Cinder saves you a couple of times.
Do you know how many times Balmy saves me in a game?
I noticed when I was yeah.
It's actually pretty OP.
I was noticing when I was looking at your CS per minute, sometimes it gets a little low.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something you got to be working on. And in a Kale matchup, you should never be this even in CS at 12 minutes. You've only left lane once. It should not be this even in CS. And that comes with that better trading. But good ult here. It's a shame TF fucking... Nice.
Yeah.
Unlucky on the...
Oh. Man, I swear.
Why didn't that hit?
Right? Yeah, I know. I was so pissed off that I was literally on him. Man, that was such an amazing E-flash too.
I know. Is it because his spell shield comes up?
No, there's no way.
No.
It was off.
That's weird.
Man, that was such a sexy ass E-flash.
Oh damn, you would have got the double. That's alright. Cool.
It is what it is, but...
Yeah.
I think I should have oh, yeah. I think I got really, really pissed off here.
Yeah. In hindsight, right? Yeah, sorry.
Because, like, I got really pissed off because, like, damn, what are the chances of me walking top lane and, like, Trundle's top?
Yeah.
Or just literally in that bush.
Yeah. The one thing I'd say is you should never really be walking top in the first place because you need a reset. This wave's kind of fucked, if that makes sense. Like, by the time you walk to top lane, this wave's going to be crushing. Or Kale's going to have frozen it here. So what I'd say in this situation is you just recall straight away. Yeah, like, of course, we can't know Trundle's top side, and, like, it's just unlucky. But in reality, you should be, like, recalling here, not recalling in that bush, or even looking to go top lane.
Yeah.
See, yeah, you should just be following TF here and then recalling. It's just kind of shitty that Trundle's here. Cool.
Yeah, I have no idea how we lost this.
Cool. Kale's getting to that scary stage soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels she just auto attacks from like Africa.
Yeah,
And
it's
just
so
does a
fucking
shit ton
annoying.
of damage. Because like whenever she's level 16, we're like, yeah, this is gonna be a hard game.
Yeah. And you notice
I'm
what's
very behind.
you notice what's interesting is look at the gold, right? You've gotten 2 kills, and you're 13 CS behind, so you're gonna catch up a little bit here. But you're probably thinking you're a lot more ahead in gold at this point, right? With 2 kills.
Oh, actually, I figured that out. Like a while ago, I was like, wait, I have like 5 kills. He has 0, but I'm
Yeah.
ahead in behind in items.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, let me look at his CS. He was like 50 CS ahead of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was like when I started that back when I was like started playing Shen.
Yeah.
And I just ulted whatever I could see, and it was just so bad because like ulting a bad fight would cause you lose CS, you'll probably die,
And you lose
and
platings. Yeah.
XP, and you lose platings. So
Yeah.
she's ahead in so much gold. Yeah, so I started realizing that after playing Shen for quite a bit.
Yeah. Nice. This is a great trade.
I lose cannon though.
Yeah. So similar trading pattern.
Yeah.
Why did we keep going on? I know we lose. I know we lose after we've done our combo. But surely we can go for a little bit longer here. Because you don't think so?
So she has ult. She
Yeah.
has faster movement speed than I do, even though I'm pretty sure she does. You can check. I have.
Yeah. You have 220. Oh well, you're slowed at the moment.
I got slowed.
365.
Yeah,
She's 389. True. She's
389,
got the corrupting. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
that's the issue with like Shen. After you use your 3 abilities, anyone can beat you because like
Yeah.
they're on such huge cooldowns. No one just no one realizes it.
Yeah.
What was that?
Just
What was
slightly
that?
awkward.
No one saw anything. Yeah, this is what I mean by the pull through. I just got a free auto.
Yeah.
Even though she did, but I did a shit more damage.
Yeah.
Here's a tip for Yasuo players out there. You can block my Q with your sword, with your W.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. It's a projectile.
It completely stops it. Even my Q damage, even without the pull through, stops it.
Nice.
It's just like I never used it. Yeah, she's dead here.
Awesome. Nice. Good job. Alright, so we look at 14 minutes. You're 3-1, but you're only 300 gold up. Purely because of the CSing and the platings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like we've come out ahead in lane here, but it's not really as much as we would have wanted. Cool. So you got the push. You'll force her to TP, which is good. Little bit of an awkward back here. I guess you don't know where Trundle is. Or you're autopiloting. one of those.
I should have pushed that wave.
Yeah.
But I was also pretty low, so I was kind of scared. I mean, Dragon was up, so I should have known that he was bot side maybe, or most likely heading bot, and he would just leave me for Drake. But
yeah, right,
probably just a heat of the moment gameplay, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right. My
because it's different when you like playing and watching a gameplay. Because like, wait, I did that stupid thing.
Yeah,
but then when you're in the game, you're like, I guess just a heat of the moment game.
Cool.
And I don't know if you realized, I think I need help on my warding. Technical error. We'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, no. If I, for some reason, when I'm on the replay client, if I think if I pause and rewind too much, it just will freeze and I'll have to restart it. It happens like almost once a freaking thing now. Every time I do a VOD review now, it does it. It's really annoying.
I just stopped that name. I have no idea how it popped into my head. I just love it. Wait, how many points do I have? I think you can check.
772.
700K. Yeah, but I have another account, so I guess that makes up for it. I think it's like a level 34, 35.
Okay, nice. What do you do on that account?
I play other champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to like fan out. I
Yeah.
mean, I can play Ornn very well too.
That's good. Ornn's a nice pick. Especially as
Yeah,
you get
'cause
higher rank.
yeah, because like usually if I'm first pick, I would usually want to like go Shen because I'm more confident with him, obviously.
Yeah.
But if I like see a chance, for example, if I'm playing against an Irelia, Ornn is really, really good against an Irelia because of his insane CC. She can't really do much against him.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's just so tanky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we know Trundle's bot side. So yeah, I'd
Yeah,
just say we push that.
Yeah, I should have pushed it. Yeah.
We'll put it down to autopiloting. Heat of the moment. We'll give you a little break. But it does fuck up, so you miss like now another 6 CS if that's how you kind of want to look at it.
I think I even got my item up pretty late, isn't it? Like 15.
Yeah, it's a little late. But I mean, you've helped your team out a lot. Now this
Trundle
is where
is a beast now.
Yeah. This is
I
where
think it was a jungle diff. Just play the jungle.
Yeah.
I think what I did there, I wanted to like the wave to freeze there. So
Yeah.
I know now Kale is pretty OP because of her level 11.
Do you want to keep watching this game, or do you want to watch another early first 15 minutes?
I think like I don't know. I need you to see what I'm like. That's why I'm asking for coaching. I don't know why am I losing. You know, I feel like I'm like okay. So obviously I'm not doing very well apparently in lane.
Yeah.
I am doing okay in lane, but not as efficiently as I should be. Because okay, I did kill her 2 times, but she has more CS, and I think she has a little bit more gold than I do now.
Yeah. Oh, you're up gold.
Yeah, I'm up gold, but it's just hardly not even half an item.
Yeah.
I think mostly also with Shen, you're gonna have to like lose CS and play it in because of that.
I agree. Okay, well let's watch this out then and see what happens as the game progresses. Yeah. Cool, this is a really good trade. I mean, yeah. Nice. Awesome, good. You go to help your team, or to at least look for it. I mean, he shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
That's not your bad.
As I said, jungle diff.
Yeah.
I think even at like the start of the game, he had like 19 CS and the Trundle had like 40.
Yeah. Cool, can't do much here. Guess you're just waiting for ults.
And then I saw that. Oh,
Nice.
I forgot to tell you, my ADC. Yeah, I'm queuing with the ADC. He's pretty good. He's doing very well.
Yeah.
So what happened here? I could have just ran back, but what happened is I think it was just a miscommunication. I was like, he was like, keep fighting. I'm on the way. So I was like, if you're on the way, when you say you're on the way, that means you're close.
Yeah.
Not in base, right? Yeah. So I got pretty mad. He was like, well, you need to look at them. I was like in the middle of a team, but how am I supposed to? I was supposed to look at the map.
Yeah.
I think I got even more pissed there after the Trundle mid lane thing.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. And then your TF still ends up dying. Nice. Okay, Triss gets the shut down.
Triss is pretty strong.
Yeah.
I mean, did they buff Trundle, or has he like always been this OP?
He's just kind of come into the meta because of Sterax and Divine Sundera and Titanic Hydra. Just bruisers are really strong in general now, so like It's kind of why Lee Sin's played so much as well. It's just the items at the moment, like Gore Drinker, Divine Sunderer, and Sterix Gauge are all just really good items. So it's making like champs like Trundle just really good. I don't think Warwick should be losing this hard because technically he can clear just as quickly. So it's probably a little bit of jungle diff, not just champion difference. But yeah, Trundle is pretty strong at the moment. Just because of healing.
I mean, even in top lane too.
Yeah.
Trundle is pretty strong. And I've seen a guy, he literally went Trundle support and it worked
Trundle support's kind of was meta for a bit. They've nerfed it now. But yeah, it used to be played quite a bit. Even in the pro scene, he was getting played quite a lot. And he's really good against tanks as well because his ult steals your stats. So he'll sap your armor and magic resist. So he's like a really good tank killer. Cool.
I mean, should I be top lane here? I have no ult. I mean, ulti is up in 30 seconds, but...
I would leave after this wave. So I'd leave now and just try and help my team at Dragon. So this is like probably the first opportunity where you're going to kind of have to let Kayle stay here. She's 0-3. You're just going to have to let her farm. Because I don't know if you can 1v1 her anymore with the Nashes. Maybe you can. But in reality, like, you've kind of done your job. Like, Kayle's 0-3. Yes, you lost turret. Yes, you're up 200 gold. I think you've just got to leave lane now and try and help your team. Because right now your team's suffering a lot more than you are. So this stage, if I was you, I would just leave lane now and go for Dragon. Because it's up in 26 seconds.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
The other thing is I'd also be playing TP Shen. And like, I like to play TP Shen for moments like this. Where Dragon's coming up, but I want to stay in lane. The thing is, if you went TP Shen this game, you might not have got all 3 of your kills. Or, your 2 solo kills on Kayle. You might not have got them. So like, that's why I really like the TP on Shen is you can like go help your team and then you can keep the split push up or keep the push up. And then, just TP back if you need to or just walk back. But, the Ignite also has its advantages. Like, you got 2 kills with it. But if you go TP now for your mid to late game, your TP will be much more valuable. Because Kayle's going to outscale you anyway at level 12. So your Ignite's really only a good spell until like the 15-minute mark.
But then you trade off the early game with the late game.
So I think particularly with what you said earlier, it's like, yes, I'm doing a couple of things wrong in early game. I would even suggest maybe trying your teleport a little bit more because Shen, you need to help your team out more. It looks like you're doing okay in your laning phase. Like, yes, there's mistakes like I was telling you. Missing a couple of CS, not trading efficiently, wave management needs a lot of work. But if you start going TP instead of Ignite, you can just have your ordinary laning phase. Like, Shen doesn't need to get kills in laning phase to be super effective. The most effective thing he has is macro and map pressure with his ultimate. And if you add TP to that, it means you can go for like crazy ultimates or crazy TPs and then get back to lane. Just a little bit better. So I'd suggest if you're having this real problem in your head where you're like, I'm not sure how I can do more or have more impact, and you're like, my laning phase needs a bit of work, but it's pretty okay. You're probably coming out most times ahead in laning phase or pretty even. I would suggest maybe start going TP and playing for more the mid to late game, because it seems like that might be where your problem is a bit more. Because right now you want to be with your team. Like, it's third Dragon, it's 19 minutes in. If they get, it's Ocean Soul, but if they get Ocean Soul, it's GG. Trundle, Kayle with Ocean Soul, it's going to be really fucking hard to play the game.
Trundle is already 10 kills.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's already pretty hard. Yeah.
Once I press tab and... Yeah,
so notice what we would have avoided with this as well is we would have been already, on our way bot side. With when I said...
But I think that's kind of worth, isn't it? Because, like, we take Drake, he takes nothing. He did take the kill.
I guess, but the thing is, he still would have been topside when you left. Alright, let's look at this.
Yeah.
So I would have left. So C. I would have left now. And so he would still come, probably, because he's going to try and cut you off. So you could either walk around here, and either way, if he does cut you off, you just jump over. But your team
Yeah, I
can
can
still get this
overwatch,
dragon,
yeah.
and you can just delay him, and Kale can't enter the fight. So yeah, I think once you either lose your turret or it's post 15 minutes as Shen, you now need to start thinking macro wise. Like, how can I help get my Warwick's 6 and 5 and Trundle's 10 and 4, kind of doomed jungle diff, but how can I at least try and help them out? That's what I would be thinking if I was Shen in this position. Post 15 minutes and I've lost my turret,
Yeah.
I'd be going, how can I influence the map? The laning phase is now over. If I'm in lane with Kale, it's basically playing to her win condition because she's keeping you in lane. Like, yes, you have your global ult, but it's kind of not as, it's kind of useless. You may as well just be there for the fight, and then not have to use your ult.
And I even think she can just literally melt me down.
Yeah,
By
exactly.
just me watching me. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I'd be like 1 HP the moment I go into the fight and just die.
yeah, and post 15 minutes, her staying in lane, gold for gold, CS for CS, is way more beneficial for her than you. So if she's
Yeah.
keeping you in lane with her, that's a win in her books. Even if it's small, all she wants to do is scale, but what you're on is you're on a timer now where you need to quickly influence the rest of the map before Kale hits level 16 and get your team strong enough so that when it comes to team fighting, they can actually deal with the Kale. You've done your job and suppressed her as much as you could in laning phase. You now need to go help your team, get them scaled up, and then see if you guys can win 5v5s. So yeah, in this case, I would leave right now. You don't, which is, a little bit rough because Kale does flash as well. So you're probably like, fuck yeah, I've got a kill here. But yeah, unfortunately, that happens. But you get dragged for it at least. I hope.
I mean, I was like, okay, he killed me, but then I looked, now he gets the tower too.
And they get tier 2.
Yeah. It's like 500 gold.
Yeah.
They changed the gold on it because I could swear it wasn't 500 gold.
Yeah, they've added more gold. To all turrets, I think. Not the inhib turrets.
Yeah, now he does.
Oh my god. Okay, cool. You got
He's a
ult.
beast.
Yeah.
I told you. Yeah.
Probably didn't need to ult Tristana there, but it's okay.
Yeah, I guess it's like, I saw Trundle, the 11 core Trundle in the face of Tristana with an insane amount of lifesteal, and I was like, should I ult? Should I not? Because if he hit like one more auto, he would have healed like a shit ton too.
Yeah. From our last conversation, what do we think we should do after we clear this wave?
Probably they're most likely gonna go for Baron now. So I have to like follow the team. I have no ulti. Pushing top is practically useless. She'll just farm even more.
What's the enemy trying to do now? Like, sorry, I mean in like the next 20 seconds of gameplay.
Okay, so they might group up on mid, try to get the tower. If they get the tower, they might be able to get a couple of picks, and if they get that, that's a free Baron, and then a free end. Yeah,
so we shouldn't really be staying top, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't go here. And we're on comms with the Tristana, right? We should be going, hey, let's defend this mid tier 2. We might even be able to get a couple of kills here, or maybe one kill. Or, maybe at least defend this. Or, there's heaps of possibilities that could happen here.
Yeah.
But if we go top, there's no possibilities. All it is we're getting some CS.
I see.
Yeah, because this lane's over now. Like, you've lost both your turrets, you just leave it. Because if Kale now comes up here, that's when you try and fight her. There's no point now trying to CS here or here. You basically only want to CS when you're like behind this point. So you don't really want to care about minions at this moment. You just want to be mid and trying to help your team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that was just a gold elo.
Yeah. It's bad habits as well. It's like autopiloting. You see the wave crashing and you want to take it. There's a lot of things.
Or you would just see a huge wave on bot lane or top lane, and a team fight is happening on the other side of the map.
Yeah. My
Oh, isn't
main
that lovely?
my main concern is just that you haven't left your top lane unless it's to ultimate. And
Yeah, I think
you
that's my
should
issue
leave, yeah,
here.
you got to leave way more than that. You can't just expect to leave lane for your ultimate and expect your team to win the game, because if it's jungle diff, you're going to have to do more than that to help your jungler out, right? Yes, it's not like, your top laner shouldn't be having to sweat and make every single lane win, but when you're playing Shen, it's kind of his champion identity. If you're playing to win lane as Shen, it's not really the way he's meant to be played. He's meant to be played for macro, for pressure. Like, he's meant to be played in a much different way to trying to win lane, win game. It's more like win other people's lane, win the game, with your ult
Yeah.
and with your pressure. So I think you're playing a bit too insular. Like, if you're a Tryndamere or something, I'd say, like, this playstyle is pretty good because you're always going top lane out of habit. But as a Shen, it's not that good.
Okay.
But again, this playstyle, like your insular playstyle, works if you go TP here again, because then you can just constantly push top, but you either have your ult on cooldown or you have your TP. You've always at least got one global to go match your team and help them out with the team fight. Because that's the one unique thing about Shen is your global ult to go help your team. So you can turn a 4v4 into a 4v5 in your favor. Because you're always pushing the top laner to top lane and then you TP in. And then it's either a 4v5 or they're forced to TP as well. And a Kayle TPing into a team fight isn't as valuable until she hits like level 16 as you TPing into a team fight. So
and when someone's TPing, it's pretty obvious that they're TPing, and it can be pretty obvious who's TPing. So if a Kayle just TPs to a ward, everyone can just stack that ward and just instantly kill her, even if he has ult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think you going TP will almost force you to look more macro, because you're not going to be using TP to get back into lane. You're going to be looking to use your TP almost like your Shen ult, where you're trying to influence a team fight by getting into a good position. And to be honest, I think that's your biggest problem with Shen at the moment. Like, yes, I nitpicked your early game, and that does need work. But to be honest, now I think your macro is probably your biggest problem here. Like, we shouldn't be here. Like, this is so dangerous. You might not get caught, but it's just... We got, like, 2 auto attacks on turret. And we get out, I assume... Nice, you flash. Yeah, okay. We might get out here.
Yeah, I do get out.
Okay, and you get the kill. Okay, so you get the kill. But it's just not good. It's not, like, good gameplay, right? Yes, you get the kill... But, like, overall, that's just a really messy situation. Like, you don't want to be getting kills in that situation. You kind of want to be more just grouped with your team, in hindsight.
Yeah.
Because now you can't really help this fight. And now you and Tristana are at this awkward moment. Cool.
Yeah, right now it's just going to be a massacre.
Yeah.
I guess you can already tell.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why Swain's taking this fight.
Yeah.
I would just get out now, which is probably what you're going to try and do.
Just gold elo things.
Yeah. It is what it is. That's why you as an individual need to try and help the macro as much as possible. Because you're not going to be able to prevent Swain going in here, but you may be able to influence a team fight if it happens, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, you guys can't really contest this, but let's see it play out. Oh my. Oh no, oh no.
Massacre.
Oh, okay. Nice, what do you guys do with this lead?
I'm pretty sure we should Baron now. Yeah, I think we do Baron.
Yeah, problem is if Warwick doesn't want to.
Yeah,
You don't have
Warwick,
Tristana, it's kind of tough.
Did I have ult up? Oh, I could have saved them.
That's what I was looking at. That probably would have been a pretty nice kill.
Yeah, and my shield is huge now because it scales with HP.
Yeah. So
I don't know
again,
if you remember.
yeah.
What?
You go. No, sorry. You were about to say something?
Huh?
Oh, I thought you were about to say something.
Oh no.
Okay. Because, like, sorry, looking at this, you should have altered here. Again, it's not, like, going to make the difference between winning or losing the game, but the fact that we didn't even, like, notice this ultimate, or, like, like, the fact that we didn't actually go for this ult, again, like, points to that, like, lack of macro knowledge or thinking about the macro. Every
Yeah.
time you miss an ult like this at post 20 minutes, it's like there's a disconnect between you as an individual and the macro gameplay that needs to be had in this game. Because you would have prevented Swain dying, and you probably could have killed Akshan. Yes, he's got flash up, so maybe not. But yeah. And now he gets all this damage off on turret. Yeah. So we prevent like 60% damage on turret, and we save our Swain's life. Cool, I would now leave this straight away. Well, we can push because Warwick's backing, but ideally you want to be like around here. Yes, you've got your ult, so you can be like split pushing, but I would just be trying to group with my team right now.
Yeah, I saw my team. That's why I tried to bait.
Okay, nice. Okay, you get a good catch here. It's awesome. That's
should
good.
have gave him the kill, but
okay. Playing some risky stuff here, but notice how when you're grouped as well with your team, like they've actually got a hope of winning the game. Notice whenever they were dying or fucking up, it's because you weren't there. But every time you're there now, post like 20 minutes, you're having a lot of impact. So that's why I really want you to like switch on to that macro game focus a little bit earlier and a bit more frequently, because generally if you're there, it seems like as an individual, as the 700k mastery point Shen player, you're pretty good in a team fight as long as you're there. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, because with Shen you can like take a lot, like with your taunt you will force people to like.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I even got that taunt. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I think we should Baron now.
It worked.
Oh, Drake is almost up too.
Oh my lord. Okay. Okay, it works.
That Warwick is way too greedy.
The one thing I was just worried, like, yes, I can see where Trundle is, but that whole time you guys weren't actually able to see where Trundle is. So like that team fight was just so dangerous, because if that 14 and 6 Trundle gets on your Tristana, it's gonna be bad. But look at you, you literally just by being with your team now get, what do you guys get? 3 kills plus Dragon. And that's all because you came and helped your team, which is really important. Which I love. Yeah, good. Nice. Just quickly. Yep.
I think that Justana got a little bit greedy.
Yeah, just a little. I mean, she's got her ult up, so she's kind of okay, but it's not the best. Looking at your team and looking at their team, what's item-wise, what could you have built here in this situation? A little bit more.
After Titanic?
Before Titanic.
Oh, Bramble.
Yeah, I would think versing a Kale with Riftmaker and a 14 and 6 Trundle with Divine Sundra, in my head, it would automatically click to go some healing reduction straight away. Yeah. Because yes, your Titanic is a really big power spike, but your Bramble Vest is like, it's one of the most gold efficient items in the game against a Trundle and a Kale, because they're going so much healing.
I don't even have to buy Thornmail, I just need Bramble.
Yeah, all you need is I think it's 800 gold. The 800 gold Bramble, or it's 1k or something. I can't remember.
I think it's 800.
Yeah, and even if, like, let's say you want to go a bit more aggressive, you could even go, like, the Executioner's Calling, like the AD one. Like, let's say, you don't want to build the Thornmail or something. You could just go it. You never have to finish it, but it's just having the 40% healing reduction is, like, one of the most gold-efficient purchases you can make. As a top laner, as a tank, as basically anyone.
I mean, yeah. I assume that, Ignite would be yeah, like I got so pissed.
Yeah,
Like, what the
yeah.
fuck?
True. You raise a good point actually, because you've got Ignite. You don't actually need to go the Brambles. That's actually a pretty valid point. I was looking at it from the lens of if you go TP. So you do
Because I
raise a good
think
point.
yeah, I think Ignite has like 60% Grievous wound.
Yeah. 60%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
60.
for 5
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah. So I
Yep.
think that would be. I think that I thought that was more efficient. I guess buying both for like 100% less healing would be
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Cool. It's a shame you altered there because you didn't have to, but like your Tristan was going super greedy. I'd probably tell your mate just to settle down a bit. It's like, why the
Yeah.
fuck's he trying to fight the Trundle
I,
when he has no healing reduction? It's just like, it's not going to work. I guess he's 11 and 3, but it's just not
so he
smart.
got greedy. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then that's one thing, like your 80, like, yeah, I don't know, just make sure your comms with your 80 carry or your duo partner are effective, because otherwise it can get awkward. Like, shit like that should never happen. That death here should never happen as well. So, like, make sure it's like, if you're playing with a mate and they're good, just understand that, like, you might lose some LP because of shit like that. So as long as
Yeah.
you're comfortable with duo queuing with a mate, and you think it's beneficial for you, keep going with it. But if you can improve that communication process a little, try and do it. Because it will help you guys out. Because it would have prevented a death here and your ultimate there. Nice. Awesome. Cool. See, now you'd have ult, maybe, you know, I mean, I guess nothing's going to happen here. But let's say Warwick got caught out or something, you'd now have your ult to help him out, instead of having to use ult to save your duo queue partner for a dumb trade. Cool, so you both go top.
I should have been mid here.
Yeah. And again, you wouldn't have needed to be mid here if you if you didn't have to ult your Tristana here. So it's a little bit annoying. But yeah, you should definitely be mid. Notice what's happened now. Your team loses the fight because you're not there again. So notice this macro disconnect of like, you kind of, before this VOD review, you weren't sure where you're going wrong. But now we're starting to discover that whenever you're with your team's generally winning the fight. And then whenever you're not with your team, they're generally losing the fight. And like,
I guess that's that good.
yeah, well, yeah, and also, you know, you're another body, and like your Kale's 0-3, so it's like, even if she matches you in the fight, you're gonna be so much more impactful than her. Like, yes, she's 2-6 now, but you're just gonna be such a bigger presence than the Kale is, and that you should just be wanting to take as many fights pre-16 against Kale as possible. Yeah. Cool. So your team survives, I guess. Maybe they even get a kill here. No, it's okay. Cool. And now we're in this tumble with with Kale. So cool. Yeah. So I just leave this. I just leave now and go help my duo partner. Yes, he's backing. Okay, your Warwick's actually doing something now. Cool. I mean, now you've got your ult, right? So you can stay up here. It's fine. You just got to be cautious and understand this is a tier 1, so don't risk your life for it. Cool. The longer you stay here, the more dangerous it is because your team's all bot side, so just watch this. Oh, okay, see Trundle mid. Nice. This is big. This is really big. That's massive.
So stupid how we can just run it down and just to damage people.
Almost, yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you get 15 kills, right? You can do crazy shit. Cool. Awesome.
Notice I'm pretty fed myself, but
yeah.
I think I had like, even after that fight on Drake, I had a lot of gold and I didn't buy anything for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did have a lot of gold.
I just back here, dude. You better be backing.
Yeah, I am. I think.
You need to take
No,
a
I'm
Grom.
not.
Fuck! Just back! It's a tier 1. Tristana can get this on her own. You don't need to be here.
I don't even get the gold.
You're a Gronk. Leave! You've got 4k. This is actually a bad habit because I bet you do this quite a lot if you're doing it now.
Yeah.
Recall! Recall!
Come on, back.
Dragon is coming up in what? Dragon's coming up in 20 seconds. No
back.
way you stay here.
No.
You dingo. No. This is so bad.
I had like 4k gold.
Fuck. Well, if you guys lose this fight, we can kind of figure out what a big problem's gonna be. Do you recall now?
Do I recall now? Please recall. I don't want this to be more horrible.
You've got your ultimate. Just Oh my lord.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm a dead bronze player. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. I have no excuse for that. That was like a retarded move.
Yeah. That's pretty game deciding, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. That's actually massive.
Oh man.
Because you know what else recalling would have done here? You probably would have told your Tristana to recall, or at least told her that you're backing, and it would have caused your whole team to back here instead of taking a fight. Because after Dragon, you guys don't want to fight. There's no reason for you guys to fight right now.
Yeah.
Like, if you look how much unspent gold you guys have on the table here. 4.3, 1.1. So that's 5k, let's say 6k, 6.2k, 7.3k unspent gold right now. That's like almost it's like almost 1/6, or it's like 1/7 of your entire gold that you've earned for the game is unspent right now. And yes, they've got what is this, 3k, 4k, 4.5, 5k, but it's like you've got 4.3k.
Yeah.
This is big. And this probably happens, I reckon, once maybe in every 10 games, and that's big over a season. Maybe once in every 5.
I have no idea why I didn't back there.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Yeah. I think it's probably there's a communication issue with Tristana. If I was the Tristana, I'd be like, just fucking back, dude. Or, there should be some communication between you two where you're telling each other to recall and shit. There should be a lot of constructive communication between you two of helping each other out. Particularly because you've got Baron empowered recall. Even if you recall, your only downtime is your recall, and then you're back on the map because you've got Shen ult. Yeah. So it's just maybe a lapse, but yeah, it's probably something that happens in quite a few of your games, and that could be the game decider, but we'll see. Kale's level 16 now.
Yep.
Yeah, they get two fucking inhibs off that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Nexus turret. Jesus. God.
Ah, damn, that entire game was my fault. Shit. We could have won that so easily.
Yeah. You can look at it yeah, I guess it sucks, right? Because you played so well for all of it. And it sucks that this one moment kind of fucked it up. But that's literally how a lot of solo queue games go. Everyone's making mistakes, but then there's the one mistake that just it's irrecoverable from? I don't know the word.
It's 32 minutes into the game, spawning back takes so long. And
Yeah.
Damn.
Unspent gold. Yeah. I mean, at least we found a problem that you probably do a little bit. I assume this isn't probably the only time this happens. But it's interesting of how obvious it is watching it back now, hey.
I mean, I did come back from silver like in this season, so
Yeah. Well, dude, like you, a lot of your gameplay is impressive. Like your laning phase, I was critiquing it and going very micro a lot, but it was actually really good. I was just wanting it to be better, if that makes sense. Like
yeah.
for a gold player, like the laning phase is really good. You're winning it consistently. I'm probably gonna look at your. I'll look at your mobalytics after this game ends, and I'll probably see that you on average come out of gold, come out ahead in gold. Let's just go to this next team fight.
I mean, I would
Holy.
say the only lanes I lose is against like champions that dominate lane. Something like
God. God, you're in trouble here.
something
Yeah.
yeah. I would say I lose lane against something like who maybe
Mordekaiser?
Alawi, Mordekaiser. Yeah, Mordekaiser a beast. Like he just gets that one item, you know, the one to complete his main item. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, I know the one. It's the one
Yeah,
that gives
you
him spell vamp. Yeah.
yeah. Once he gets that, it's pretty much. And whenever you want to get ganked after level 6, it's
Yeah.
practically so
Yeah, it's
useless.
just gonna ult you. Oh. Okay, you've got your ult here.
She died so quickly.
You could have ulted her though.
Wait, play that on normal speed, not half speed, and see how fast.
Okay. Play that on fucking normal speed. Okay, I will.
Play that on normal speed.
But as soon as she jumps in, right, that's when you should be ulting. You're on comms with this guy, right?
True.
Like, this is game fucking deciding. This is like 33 minutes in, level 16 Kale. This is like your like, yeah, of course I can see that the game's gonna end after this fight. But fuck, if this is a time to ult and risk it, this is a fucking time, right? Leave nothing on the table.
Yeah.
Like, she's still got time. She's landed. She's full health. 29. 30. Yeah, so she dies in like 3 seconds. But if we ult as she's jumping in, it's not bad. I mean, your team might still win here. I don't know where the
Trundle is coming.
Yeah.
Yep, there he is. I was just about to back too.
Yeah.
And that's how we lose the game.
I wonder what would have happened if you altered Trish. Like, would she have survived? Maybe you would have got a taunt off and she wouldn't have got bursted.
I think my alt cast time is 3 seconds.
Okay.
And armor. Okay, wait. I think so. I get So this is how Shen alt works. If someone is more than 40% HP, you don't get much shield. If you place the thing on here. Yeah. See, Shen grants an ally champion between 700 bonus. See, and that much based on their missing health for 5 seconds.
800 is pretty good.
That 60. Yeah. So, and 60% shield, 60% and max health.
Yeah.
Is where you want to ult most of the time, but yeah, I trolled twice there. I kind of threw the game. Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
No, you go.
Because like from my point of view, I was like, wait, why are we losing this? I did so well, but then I look at the game right now and then like, oh, I did kind of troll.
And you know what sucks as well is that you probably played laning phase the best out of your whole team. And it's like and you played this macro really well. It's just 2 mistakes. Like, we could probably look at, if we reviewed Warwick's gameplay, we'd probably spot 3 times as many mistakes as we've spotted with you, right? So, like, yes, we're focusing on the moments that you could have changed the game, but you also got to remember, you've got 4 teammates, right? It's like, the whole weight of the world shouldn't be on your shoulders. So, like, yes, obviously it's you as an individual and we're critiquing your gameplay, but don't put it too hard on yourself. these are two very human mistakes that, yes, were preventable, but also it's like your team could have made your job a bit easier, right? You shouldn't have to sweat so hard to win a game, but that's just what
Yeah.
solo queue is sometimes. So yeah, we can look at your two mistakes and be like, these were the game deciders, but we could probably also look at Warwick, like 3 of Warwick's mistakes and be like, these were game deciders. We could also look at Tristana going, as soon as she jumps in here, this is a game decider mistake, if anything. Unless she's talking to you and saying, ult me now, like, because you guys are on comms, again, that's what I'd be suggesting. You guys are comming here. But yeah.
Maybe also the issue, I mean, I'm not making excuses for myself. That is very bad. I should have ulted her there.
Yeah.
But I think the issue is I was low HP.
Yeah.
And I was like, kind of scared because like
Yeah.
if I died, I would have spawned like a minute later.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess I was thinking of that. I was also about to back too. It was kind of sad.
Yeah. Oh god, this isn't gonna. Oh my god, Warwick. Oh my lord.
Yeah, Warwick just ran away. Like he kind of made
Swain come back.
the
Yeah.
support. Yeah.
No, Warwick.
And then he
Oh my.
followed back. Yeah.
I guess he's trying to delay.
But it's useless.
Yeah.
I mean, I could say I did pretty bad. I would say I did okay. Not very bad.
I mean, I'd be a little upset at this loss, like as you, because you played it quite well. Like, Kale was literally not a champion this entire game. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like that's why I enjoy playing Shen. Like, Shen is usually like he is very weak in the like laning phase because like your E is on an 18-second cooldown, your W is on an 18-second cooldown, and then it just goes like 16, 15, 14, I think. So
yeah.
yeah. So like even though like you win lane, it's so satisfying as Shen.
Yeah, yeah. And to be honest, like I'm talking about the TP a lot. To be honest, I don't think you need to, like, maybe you can keep going Ignite and focusing on that winning that lane, until like maybe you start getting to like high gold. Wait, what? Is this not your account? What's going on here? Oh no, it is. It's just unranked for some reason. Okay. See, this is interesting that you're coming out of lane on average 15 goal behind. I was expecting this to be a bit higher than that. But yeah, what was I saying? I think the Ignite, like, if you want to personally keep using Ignite, you can. I think, like, in terms of the way Shen's meant to be played, particularly in higher ranks, I think the TP's better. Because as you start versing better people, it's going to be harder to get those solo kills with the Ignite Shen. But it's up to you. It's a personal choice. I would say because you have a bigger macro problem, or like I wouldn't say you have a macro problem. It's like when you're actually team fighting, you're doing really well. But I think you just get this thought process in your head where you're like, I can't tell if I want to go top lane or go help my team. And you kind of want to do both. And if your ult's down, that opportunity kind of goes out the window. So I don't know. I just feel like the TP might help with it a little bit. But if you just want to keep the Ignite, I guess you can. But it's not really helping your laning phase that much if we look at your goal difference being negative 140 at 15 minutes on average over your 285 games as Shen this season. It's suggesting to me that, yeah, your Ignite's getting you some kills, like against Kale, for example, but overall it's not actually helping you that much, I would say. But at the end of the day, that choice is up to you, whether you want to trial TP a bit more, almost in every matchup, I would suggest, or if you want to keep the Ignite. I'd say maybe like against Kales, you can keep the Ignite and just really punish them.
I would say anything I can punish, I should take Ignite with.
And
right?
yeah.
So like, yeah, I guess that would be a fair assumption.
That's a good rule as long as you're comfortable with it, like personally. Because you're the 700k mastery point Shen, I've probably got like 60, 70, 80k. So I'd always go TP because I'm just more comfortable with it because I know my Shen's probably not the best. And I'd rather have the TP for like if I fuck up my laning phase, I can just TP back to my turret. Or, if I need to help bot lane at like level 4, I can TP, particularly because I'm on comms with Tristana. You guys could start setting up really cheesy stuff where she always
Yeah.
wards like the far brush and lets the wave push in. Yes, she's playing Tristana, so, she's going to auto push, but let's say she doesn't play Tristana. You could set up these really cheesy things that you can get off every game, and it could make the difference between winning and losing the game. But yeah, up to you. But yeah,
I mean,
looking,
I guess my
yeah,
win rate is pretty good too. I mean,
yeah,
54% is pretty good.
over 285 games. That's really good. You should be really happy with that. I'd be happy with that as well. That's a really good win rate. And what did you climb from? Okay, you're only it's silver 1 to gold 4. It's kind of not, you haven't climbed that far, have you? With such
I
a
mean,
good Shen win rate.
I did reach gold 3, but I had like a very, very, very sad losing streak.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, here you
You
go.
know, when
Gold
you just get
320.
those, you just
Yeah.
get when this like you just get a bad week or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then I dropped like what I was like gold 380 LP, and then I think
Okay.
26.
I don't know. It does. It
I
might
mean,
not show it here because it's each day. So maybe on the,
uh,
you could have got higher or
yeah, yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I got like a pretty high pretty high LP in gold 3,
Yeah.
and then I just dropped all the way down to like
Oh, that
gold
sucks.
0
Yeah.
LP.
Yeah. That's rough.
You just have those. I mean, I did get tilted a lot. I mean, it's understandable at that point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like yeah, at gold 1, I feel like usually I feel like I'm outperforming my laner, but then as you can see, I think I'm bad. I'm okay maybe at laning phase, but I'm bad at after laning phase. I just
Yeah.
feel like I'm lost after
Yeah.
that.
I think
So
if
I don't
you,
know what I
yeah.
can do to I don't know. I have no idea what to do so I can fix that or something.
Yeah. The first thing I think would be like is watching a bit more of your gameplays on your own, or we can keep going through them. But what you should be doing now that we've identified where some problems are starting to occur is I would ideally, if I was you, I'd set like aside maybe like half an hour a week to go through a couple of losses from that past week and just look at post 15 minutes or post 20 minutes and look on the histogram. You know how we could see every team fight on the replay system. I'd just go
Yeah.
watch those fights and see where you are and what you're doing and just like theory craft in your head. Like, because a lot of the time when I paused it, you were kind of like, fuck, I should probably be with my team at this point. I think you know it. You just got to start. I think you got to keep looking at your mistakes in your replays, and eventually it's going to translate into when you're in real time playing and you're like actually playing the game and it comes to that moment, you're going to now start like recognizing, oh shit, I should probably be with my team, and then actually leave and go be with your team instead of staying
Yeah.
top, because you're going to be able to watch it play out what happens when you don't group with your team. Whereas when you're
Yeah.
playing live, it's like you're rolling the dice. Can I stay top or should I go help my team? But if you watch the replay, you're like, okay, yeah, I should have helped my team here. Then you watch it play out, your team loses the team fight. And then you're like, fuck, okay, I should have done it. So that's what I would suggest. The fact that we're aware of it now, like it seemed like at the start of the VOD review, you weren't too sure where you're going wrong, but now we're figuring out that it's like if you're grouped with your team or if you're able to help your team, they generally win the fight. The only times your team didn't win were because you weren't there really, or you
Yeah.
you missed an ult. Um, so yeah, I'd suggest just the grouping more often. Like post 15 minutes, your job as Shen is to win team fights. Because laning phase is over.
I mean, like also if you look at my gameplays, I think when you see a victory, I'm like generally like hugely
Pumping
dominating.
it. Yeah, 12-4, 7-4, 9-5. Yeah.
I'm generally just like stomping on the enemy.
Yeah.
Wait, how did we win that? I guess it was someone AFK'd, I guess.
I noticed this CS per minute. This is also a big
Yeah.
reason as to this is why TP will help you as well because it lets you get back to lane. I mean, you've got TP in these games actually. Fuck, like I'd suggest this is something you should work on as well. Like this is a
Oh,
little
I
bit.
was playing
That's okay.
against a Tom
That's
Kench.
yeah, yeah.
I was playing against a Tom Kench.
That's
I think I'm
you're
just
excused a little
usurping
bit.
that
But these
champion.
other
That
ones,
champion isn't a champion.
yeah,
That champion isn't a fucking
it's
champion.
so stupid. Tom Kench at the moment is just fucking
I mean,
busted.
I think I also had a game against a Heimer, and
Yeah,
Heimer is
I
pretty
saw
annoying.
that. Somewhere here I saw it earlier.
It's definitely a lost game.
Yeah,
Because I always feel like this. Whenever I
there it is.
lose lane,
Yeah.
I feel my entire team loses. But whenever I stomp lane, we sometimes win, we sometimes lose.
Yeah.
That's I guess like
Your
wait, how am
team
I
never
playing with a
carries you.
platform? Oh right, I played a guy. What? Why am I gold? What? Gold 3, plat 4.
That's interesting. I guess because that maybe the match, maybe it's like a 3 a.m. game or something. I don't know.
No.
It's weird. They think you're in Smurf queue. You're kind of playing gold 2 average.
I'm a smurf.
Yeah.
No, I wish. I mean, I would say I can climb up pretty fast after this. I mean, I figured out my mistakes, maybe
Yeah.
a little bit more, and then
Yeah. What do you want to go quickly through so we like solidify this learning? Just watching that back, like let's list. You go and list everything you kind of learnt watching that.
all right, all right. That should be easy. Okay, so I shouldn't trade while my minion like if there are minions there, I shouldn't trade so I don't lose CS. Probably don't. Yeah, and then there's that one at the exact start. I shouldn't push very hard because then whenever I want trade, I'll probably get autoed by the tower.
Yeah.
There's also generally just better wave management. Yeah.
Yeah, build and remember how I was telling you once you get that slow push bouncing, it's very hard to stop that until you leave the lane. So you notice how I said like I was going through when the first time you push the wave in, it then bounces back all the way back to your turret, and then
it just
bounces
keeps
all the way back to his turret. Or her turret, I guess, for Kale. So it's like we stop that with those first like 4 or 5 auto attacks that you do at level 1. Yeah. Yep. Keep going.
There is also stay with your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
That's a big one. I would say even like I did have good ults, but I need to look more for like for ults.
Yeah.
I guess.
To be honest, I would say you're a 700k mastery point Shen. You shouldn't be missing an ult. Like you shouldn't be missing 2 obvious ults a game. Like there was at least 2 that were very obvious. Yeah. So maybe like getting used to function keys. I don't know if you use those a little bit, but I guess you can just look at health bars. But as Shen, I use my function keys to look at my team, my lanes. Particularly when like there's dead time. So let's say you've pushed the wave in or something, you can use your function keys, or you can just scroll to the minimap and check positions.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else?
There should be. I think I also need like I don't know if you realize this, but my wards, I have really low vision score.
Yeah. You never buy pinks. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Like you buy what, 1 control ward every like 3 games? Do I have a top lane? I'm trying to think if I have a... I don't think I have a top lane main account. But let's see. This is mid lane, but if you notice, I'm buying like 2 control. Oh, that's support. I'm probably buying 2 control wards on average when I'm playing. Oh, that was 5. That's 4. But let's say I'm buying like 2 to 3 control wards, a game. Oh, that's actually top lane. So I bought 3. So what I'd be suggesting is, probably playing, trying to get at least 1 to 2 control wards a game, and then placing
Yeah.
your yellow trinket. The thing is, I was looking at your vision, and your vision score was pretty much the same as Kale. Something you could try is like changing your yellow trinket to like a sweepers or a blue trinket, and using that to help out macro. So like you can clear vision a bit more, or you can use your blue trinket to check Baron and stuff.
Yeah.
If you think it's a problem, it's not too bad, because right now at the standard of the other top laners you're versing, top laners don't really need to ward. And you didn't really die to that many ganks during laning phase, which is when vision's the most important. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, but it is, I guess, a little bit of a problem, but it's not your biggest one. Like, I'd say averaging 4.3 CS is a way bigger problem than your vision score at the moment, if we're looking at like priority of improvement. Anything else?
Better CS.
Yeah, that's a hard one as well, because like it's just gonna take a bit of, like, you're just gonna have to really not autopilot during laning phase, and you're gonna have to really like treasure your CS, and it will come through a variety of things. Like, when you trade better, you'll CS more. When you wave manage better, you're gonna CS more. When you get used to like last hitting under turret, you're gonna CS better. When it's gonna eventually build up. You're not too far away. I think when I play Shen, do I have it on this account? I might have it on my main. I think I've got a couple of Shen account. I don't actually average very high CS on Shen either. Like, I think I average like 5.5. Do I have Shen on here?
Generally,
no, I don't.
I mean, generally with Shen, you will have a lower CS.
Yeah.
Because of your ulti.
Yeah.
I mean, I also don't take TP. I mean,
yeah.
I guess that's
so you're doing a trade-off. I just say CS is like the most consistent source of income in the game. So it's like you should be getting a pretty decent CS score. And the fact that I guess your Ornn's only played 4 games, but it seems like there's kind of a CS issue across all champions you play. I mean, see, like, you notice mine, like, I'm playing Rumble in Diamond. I'm playing Rumble mid in Diamond, and I'm only averaging 5.7. So it's like, you don't need to have, like, 9 CS per minute. Like, I think that's 6.1 as top lane Cho'Gath. You don't need to have God tier CS, like, 7, 8, 9, unless you're playing, like, Ryze or Cassiopeia or stuff like that. Even my Cassiopeia is kind of low, 6.5. It just needs to be a little bit higher than 4.3. I'd say, like, you should just be happy with, like, 5 to 5.5. And anything more than that, you're probably staying in lane a bit too much, I would suggest. So it's not a big issue. You just need to be getting like 1 more CS per minute. And that'll come through better trading and better wave management, I think. But yeah, I think these are the big ones, dude. I think the most impact you're going to notice is like the better ults and staying with your team. Like, these are the 2 that are going to see your win rate improve the most. But these are going to make your laning phase feel a lot better. Those 3 are going to make your laning phase feel a lot better, and that's going to make your mid and late game a lot easier, because if you come out further ahead in early game, it makes your mid and late game easier. Because, like, if you're behind in early game, I know I do this as top lane a lot. I almost tunnel vision on I need more CS and I need to just farm. Whereas it's like, okay, farming time's over. I'm behind, but I just need to go help my team because I'm not the win condition they are. And that's like a good way to think about it as well. Like, in that game, for example, that theory doesn't really work, but yeah, that's a good one to think about as well. Did you have any other questions or anything you wanted to ask? That's weird. Okay, I guess we didn't really have anything else to say anyway, unless you had any more questions. But yeah, just summarizing. Yeah, awesome. Just summarizing, Sleepy. Focus on these. I would really suggest, if you can, put aside 45 minutes. Maybe start just with 20 minutes. Even if you can just do 1 game a week where you look at every team fight and see what you're doing, whether you're in the team fight or you're pushing top or you're backing or you've got 4K gold in your bank. Start trying to identify the things that we identified in that VOD review and just try and do that once a week in one game and slowly build that up to like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour a week. And it's going to work really well for you. It's going to set up a lot of good habits, and you're going to start self-identifying the problems. And you probably won't need another like VOD review with me unless you want to. But yeah, that's all I've got to say, Sleepy. I think that's pretty realistic. But yeah, keep me updated as well. Just let me know how your games go. Let me know if you run into any problems or if you have any more questions. But yeah, dude, that was a really good session. I really enjoyed it. I learned a few things from Shen as well, which you taught me, so that's good. And yeah, I think you've got the potential to go plat and diamond. It's just fixing those couple of bad habits and the things that you've developed over your time playing Shen. And you'll be able to do it. I mean, it's not impossible, and Shen isn't like a champion that you're not going to be able to climb to diamond with. If anything, Shen will get easier to climb elo with as you get higher rank, because people are going to play around the Shen global a lot more. So it's really just going to benefit you the higher rank you get. So it's never going to be a champion problem. It's always going to be you as an individual problem. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. Those are the things you need to work on, and I'll send you the recording of the game. Probably tomorrow. So thanks, mate. I hope you enjoyed the VOD review. And yeah, stay in touch. Hey guys, thanks for watching my latest VOD review. If you're interested in getting your own VOD review, please head on over to my website, lolcoach.academy, click enter and click your VOD review here, fill out your details, and you could get your VOD review and master your true potential today. There's also a link in the YouTube description below on coming to this site directly. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're wanting to get coached by me, if you're wanting to get better at the game, and if you're wanting to learn how to improve consistently, please consider checking out my website and getting your own VOD review. Thanks.